Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place!
That will kind of set me on the track towards more entertaining
For
life.
sure. For sure.
Like there has to be something said for people who don't want to be there. First of all, pick any fucking class. A lot of them don't want to be there. You know what? At the end of the day, there's a lot of kids who do enjoy doing math, but then there's all fuckheads in there being loud who are dragging them down. And yes, they have to produce a test and do semesters at the end of the year. That's just all classes. There's but there are a certain percentage of kids who like, it's like sports. It's like you can say the same thing about sports, but how many kids does sports save from a worse life? Or how many kids do you think theater saves from like a darker trajectory?
I'll agree with you. Again, like I'm not teaching theater because I don't want to wrestle with these questions because I don't want to fucking deal with them. But I just think that I think that we should be doing both of those things differently, sports and theater.
I'm with that. I also think, because I do think that a lot of school is like wasted. Like most of school is wasted.
Yes.
But the idea when people go like, why do we have to learn that? I've never had to learn algebra 2. I had to do anything algebra 2 after I left school. Which part of your life since school has been 100% just what you want to do? like get real. I don't want to take geometry. It's like, well, you're not going to fucking like life because it's full of shit you don't want to do. It's a great place to learn that is in school. You learn to just like buckle down and get through it and get to the things you want to do, because that's kind of how life works.
And that is actually, I would agree with you, that is the best lesson of school.
Life is hard and then you die.
So I guess I should intro.
You get to do dope shit though.
Sometimes, yeah. I guess I should intro the podcast. Welcome to Fuck This Place, the podcast about jobs or school that leads to jobs. With Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us, a longtime friend of mine from forever ago, wonderful actress, Celena Tasabia. What's up, Celena?
What's up?
We are fired up today. Maybe it's because we are all, and I mean, at least in my case, truly trapped inside.
Well, this is the first time I think in a while we've had two theater people in here, and it's just fire.
Hey.
It's just cracking right away.
Just debating art with a capital A. Well, Celena, we should definitely, because I don't know how I'm going to edit that opening, but we should definitely get to our first segment, which is a segment we play on every podcast called Fuck This Place, ? Where we decide if we work somewhere or not. So we have pulled up some Stockton Craigslist posts, and I'm going to read 3 titles, and you're going to pick the one you do not want to look at, and we will look at the other 2. Groovy? Okay, great. So first title is Motorcycle Escort Traffic Control Specialist. So many words.
Isn't that like the CHP?
I can't give you any more information than that. So perhaps it is. Perhaps it is.
All right.
Title number 2 is Movie Extra for a Scene.
Scene.
Correct. And then last one is Seeking Collaborative Partnership with a Female Model. So which one do you not want to click on? Collaborative partnership with a female model, movie extra for a scene, or motorcycle escort traffic control specialist?
I'm going to say, well, we can discard the motorcycle escort business because this partnership with a female. Okay,
So you're saying you are saying no to motorcycle.
No to motorcycles.
Okay, fuck that place.
I feel like motorcycles are a death trap. Yeah, that place.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, and you're obviously not planning on driving one anytime soon, or riding. What do they say? Both is correct. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. So what we have here, we're going to look at movie extra for a scene first. And I should also note, it says movie extra for a scene worldwide. So this was posted in the Stockton Craigslist, but you can be
anywhere.
Fly in from Hong Kong.
I mean,
for this low budget role.
Well, we don't know that yet, but I think that the lowercase is giving us
I'm filming a movie. I gotta get on a plane. I gotta go.
I know it's COVID, but okay.
I gotta go. I got a scene I gotta do.
So the ad begins. I'm currently looking for any male/female actor/non-actor to appear in my low-budget film. Nailed it on the low budget.
You got it, Celena. Called shot, Celena, on the low budget.
I read it. I just read the first sentence.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. And it says, no experience is necessary. You film your own short scene using your own camera or phone.
TikTok?
Bit of a TikTok situation. I was going to say collaborative, but TikTok sounds more likely. If you have a product or brand you would like to promote, it may be possible to include it in your scene. Very liberal here. Yeah, we're going to finish the ad.
Yeah.
I will not be able to pay anyone for their scene. Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew you weren't. When you said low budget in the first sentence, we knew this was going to happen. Text me if you are interested, and we can come up with a scene together. The film is called Snots, a horror sci-fi film. Maybe they mean sci-fi, but it says sci-fi.
Is it filmed with drones?
It could be a drone exclusive. Although they did say you could do your own camera. So what are you going to do? Put it on top of a drone. And then last sentence, anyone over 18, you will not be turned. Anyone over 18, welcome. You will not be turned down for a scene. And of course, no pay. Not a dime.
Okay. What?
That's the post.
This sounds awful, but
it sounds like any collaborative effort for local theater. I mean, you're not going to get paid, but with a camera.
What do you think? Do you think he meant sci-fi? I
think he might have meant sci-fi. You know, I think that it's important to take people at their word, and I think they meant sci-fi instead of sci-fi. I think this person has chosen their words very carefully.
It might have been a typo because SCI is not a
but what
word
kind
by
of?
itself.
But it says SKY. That's 2 letters. SCI. I'm looking at my keyboard here. SCI. Right. That's Psi. SKY. That's only 1 letter right.
What if he was using his the voice on his phone?
But he said Psi and the phone did that?
No, he said because he sci-fi film.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, it does.
If he screwed it up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, either way, he's dumb. No matter because if he did this on accident, come on, guy, go back over it a little bit, reread it. And if you did it on purpose, that's a dumb idea. All right.
At least he has capitals and periods. That's and
true.
Commas.
That's true.
That's a plus.
Major plus.
Yeah.
I will say that the one thing that I feel like this person has, and it's obviously rather delusional, but the one thing that they have in their favor is this is a COVID-safe production. This is all remote. You know.
Yeah.
How many shows can say that?
What do you think it's like? Okay, so you just film your own scene, and then somehow you're an extra in his scene.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Here's what happens. Here's what this person is doing. They have an idea for a movie that they're working on. It's totally different. It's its own thing. We don't even have to discuss it, the sci-fi film, but the horror sci-fi film. But they were just you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have people from all over the world contribute to this, and so basically. There's probably a premise. Part of the horror sci-fi is a premise that involves people from far away. You know what I mean? What if it's a bug that gets on people's computers or something, right? And all you have to do is just scream and it fills your lungs or something. And so all that happens is at the end of your weird extra scene is that. And so it's just all I need is people to just do weird stuff in front of the camera. And at the very end, one random thing happened. You know what I mean? You buy some gack and just slap it on your face. And that's it.
A symptom of the virus.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
maybe sci-fi is a burgeoning horror sci-fi is a burgeoning genre that we just don't know about yet.
It's true.
Just all just horror movies all take place on the top of buildings.
Or just in airplanes.
I was thinking
it's also called Snots.
Snots.
What is like snots?
Yeah, it's called snots. I would also
have questions.
Boogers on planes kind of horror, but
here's what I really like is that if you have a product or brand you would like to promote, it may be possible to include it in your scene. I just like the idea of someone who like owns like a tennis racket store or something, you know, who's like somehow shoehorning, like it's Dave's crazy tennis rackets into the scene where like a zombie overtakes them or whatever.
I was thinking it was going to be in the way of like, what if he just plays all of the like Matrixy, you know, where it's just a bunch of screens behind him, and he's just like, idiots. Look at all these idiots. He's just making fun of all these videos. It talks about like the downfall of society or something up his own ass like that, you know?
Oh my God, that's incredible. Just people with like bugles on their hands, you know? Just like being weird on camera.
Like
just,
every fourth grader ever.
Yeah, and him just roasting the shit out of him. That's actually best case scenario.
Who applied to my ad.
Like, yeah, this is, man, that's honestly truly the best case snenario for this.
Yeah, that is the most artsy thing he could have done. I think this is going to be, I think this is going to be terrible. I wouldn't do it for fear of just the narrative he's going to put around it.
Yeah, it's you know, I don't know. You don't know where this is going to end up. So, I mean, I'm going to say fuck this place for sure.
Yeah, fuck this place. I don't know this person. Usually you collaborate with people you know or know through a friend, and this,
you're not even a friend of a friend of a friend over here. Okay.
Nope.
So let's take a look at number 2. This one
Are you going to flag it?
Nah, I thought about it.
Too.
I was hovering, but you know, this seems just let him be, you know, live and let live. So second post, and this one's going to be a real doozy. Seeking collaborative partnership with female model in Stockton. And there are 12 images that we have to sift through here. So, and I should say for the record, if you want to see these live, you know, so to speak, you can go to our YouTube. You just search FCK, This Place Podcast, and it's on YouTube. Otherwise, you will enjoy us describing them to you. First image is a woman in, I would call this like sort of Ren Fair, like Renaissance Fair-esque garb, right?
Like Black Power Ren Fair.
Yeah, Black Power Ren Fair. Yeah, for sure.
I love it. She's gorgeous, and it's actually a good quality photo.
This is that's correct. I would say that so far, no major red flags. This is just a good-looking pic, good color balance, shall we say, and in like a sort of a corsety, leathery type thing. You know, sort of just like finger over the ear. You know, just sort of like, here I am in the woods. Okay,
perhaps a frolic.
Perhaps a frolic. Okay, image number 2. Same person. It seems to be wearing less clothes. Just like it's, you know, same garb, you know, but just less of it. Would you say?
What kind of shoes you think she's wearing?
Like she's taken off her corset and she's seductively crossing her arms over her white kind of sheer-esque, kind of sheer peasant blouse. It looks good. Still looks good.
Again, a good looking picture.
Still tasteful, relatively, you know, as opposed considering it's on Craigslist.
Nick, I think you were asking about shoes. I think we got a wedge here. Is my guess.
Got a wedge?
Bit of a wedge situation.
Got it.
But again, that's
leather.
Just a lot of leather. Yes, and indeed a leather sort of wedge. And we have image number 3, possibly the same person. Cannot tell because this is black and white. This is a bit more booby. This picture.
Yeah, strong boob, also strong. I'm just killed my husband in the 1800s vibe.
And I need to breastfeed real quick. Hold up. Let me just barely almost show my nipple.
Mega multitasker.
Not that I'm shitting on women who breastfeed. I mean, it also looks like she's an amputee on one side.
It does. You can see the arm here, but it does. There is something about just the way that the tunic sort of comes out.
Got a real witch vibe though, right? Like
a real witchy vibe.
A little bit.
Yeah, there's a bit of it seems like a henna tattoo of sorts on the hand and wrist.
It's like a hot crucible.
Speaking of high school theater, hot crucible. Okay, image number 4 of 12. God, again,
that's a real tattoo.
Zoom in on a possible real tattoo, which okay, so it's the same person. We're zoomed in, black and white again. Definitely killed the husband recently. Longer fingernails, again, very witchy vibes. And yes, what appears to be maybe a more real tattoo of like it looks like a rose, maybe.
Yeah, a rose flower, some kind.
It's a gangster ass chola tattoo, and
Oh,
I think
could
it's a
be.
different girl.
And
It's
yeah,
a
and then
different woman. Sorry.
Yeah.
yes, thank you. Image number 5, getting a lot more booby, but again, very towing the line. I would say well-ish. This person is not wearing pants and is wearing
a flannel like wool coat.
Yeah.
It dead ass looks like the night after a sexual assault.
Okay, there we go. That's fine. Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to move on from that one. And it's getting worse. We are getting worse.
More and more creepy.
More of a fishnet situation here. No
less
top.
creepy, I think. This is
less creepy
of like burlesque.
Okay, yeah, thank you. A burlesque influence with a graffiti backdrop. We're just going to keep on plowing through. And now we have
there is a real witch. Yes.
We are dealing with an actual witch here. Long cloak, purple sort of like, what is that? Like lining to a cloak, white hair, full on witch.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of a cartoon witch.
Sabrina.
Think of like a Sabrina thing. Sabrina. Who has maybe done some burlesque, And then
she went shopping at Evangeline's for sure.
And then we have another picture again, same witch. From previous, purple cloak lining in a graveyard for sure. This time
she's showing off her legs to a tombstone.
Indeed.
This is the dead husband. I want to say
this is
she's gone full
new
into
chick.
This life. Oh,
now we've got a white chick.
Oh, I thought she was transforming her body totally into becoming a witch.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Into a vampire-y, witchy type thing.
Yeah, witch/vampire. Oh my God, we have 4 more pictures. Next one is
wow, strong Wednesday Addams vibes.
Very again, for sure, different person. And yes, like extremely pale face. The rest of the photo is extremely dark. What appears to be carrying dead roses? Would you say? Mm-hmm. I do get more frightened with each photo.
This is like a very like a character from a My Chemical Romance music video.
Extremely My Chemical Romance vibes.
It's good quality though, guys. I hate to be
Selena,
a fun sucker, but it's good. Objectively good.
We're just calling balls and strikes either way.
Oh, okay.
It's all good.
I completely agree that so far it should be noted, out of 9 photos, each of these photos has been a good photo as far as composition, as far as color. It's obviously taken with a good camera. Number 10, again, we are tripling down on the My Chemical Romance vibes.
This is whatever happened to that girl from Fern Gully. This is that.
Fern Gully, the last
she
rainforest.
dyed her hair, went
that
pale.
was a deep cut reference, man. I'm so glad you got
toxins.
That.
She inhaled all that oil that
she died actually. She just died and then came back.
For sure, like a pixie cut. A bit of a lace around the neck here. Again, dead flowers. Again, I would say that every photo leading up to this has been photographically like sound. This one I take a little issue with. It just feels a little overdone, but again,
another thing, just as a quick note, me and Chase will often run into photographers on Craigslist who absolutely, positively never fucking post pictures.
That's correct.
They just have this is what I'm looking for, this girl or whatever I want. I'm looking for a model. Have no pictures up to show what they do. This is a great step up.
This is huge. Okay, picture number 11 is again the same My Chemical Romance lady in what appears to be a field of snow, wearing a red dress. Nothing more to say about this.
She's like leaving My Chemical Romance and getting into like Evanescence, kind of.
Yeah.
It's a real arc of like this guy's like high school, early college music.
Yeah, for sure. And the last photo is totally, I would say this is actually composition and quality and everything wise, a bit of a break from the last bunch because we have a person.
Sunshine.
There's sunshine. There's a person in a bra with like turquoise, half of the hair is turquoise, holding a lacy thing, Yeah. But this is a little bit more like, boudoir, leaning towards a boudoir photo, would you say?
Right. Something you would send to your boyfriend to just like
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I would say like this is like turns out I don't like any of those bands, kind of like. That's the kind of where the
Right.
arc
Turns
has
out I
come
just
to.
liked shopping at Hot Topic.
Yeah, that turns out that's all that was.
Okay, well, and that's the photos. Now we have to get into the actual ad. So,
Oh my God.
So again, the title is "Seeking Collaborative Partnership with Female Model." As no surprise, all 12 of those photos were female. The ad begins: "Photography is one of my hobbies. I enjoy the freedom of expression it brings artistically and capturing specific moments in time. I have not been shooting much lately. Yeah, no shit, dude. And desire to get back into it. I'm looking for a model to form a partnership with, someone with whom I could shoot with somewhat regularly. I have been fortunate to have such a partnership in the past." Seems like actually you've had a couple different partnerships based off of the, unless of course.
And they all left.
Oh, perhaps they did, or they all got struck by lightning and transformed into the next successive version.
Yeah.
But either way, there's been a transformation of some kind, personnel or personality. This model moved on to other things in life.
Oh man, this motherfucker is this close to saying things like this mortal coil, like shit like that.
You're true. You're right. "And I have missed the creative bond of working with someone on multiple projects. I feel much of my best work was done as part of this team." I'm going to just shove aside a little bit of the creepy vibes for a second and say, maybe this person just knows themselves really well. And it's like, you know what? I actually need a creative partner to help push me. And if you know yourself that well, good on you.
I just need somebody to stand in front of my camera and do whatever the fuck they want, and it may be tasteful or not.
And that is a less generous view.
I think that if that was, because he wouldn't include that these people have left him, because a photographer, like, yeah, no shit, you have a new client all the time. Yeah, you don't talk about every time like, oh, and then that client went on to greater journeys and other places.
Like imagine if you ran like a hot dog stand and you were like, these people have moved on to other things in life. And it's like, well, actually, I just needed a hot dog and then I didn't anymore.
Yeah, it's just so no. This guy has. I want to say, man. This guy's got real strong friend zoned vibes, and
definitely use that phrase.
Yeah, and like he's like real like, man, all my friends think I'm a creep. so I am. Yeah, and so I have to go into the internet.
Okay, so the ad continues. "If you're interested in modeling but worried about being inexperienced, don't. Okay. All right, we're good.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
There is no need to have modeled in the past. With my experience, all you'll need is the will to step out." You're absolutely
into a secluded location where there's actually wilderness near Stockton where I can rape you. What?
Yeah. Step into the woods for sure. You're going to the woods, no question about. Every photo we've seen has been.
Fuck this place. Fuck this place.
You're calling.
That is all.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, we'll finish the ad. Just, what if it turns around? If you're familiar with modeling, great. Let's see if we have compatible styles. Well, you don't. I've shot all sorts of different styles, and I'm quite open creatively. Sure you are. If you're interested, please reply with a little bit about yourself, include your height, age, and a few photos. So, would you say...
Did he say anything about over 18 or over?
He sure didn't.
No, he did not.
Oh!
He did not. I do think that he assumes all of his models are at least 4 generations old themselves. I think they're all 400 years old each.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Yeah, a bit of a vampire situation.
Yeah, So I'm gonna say, for me, fuck this place. I don't want to listen to him being all Edgar Allan Poe about everything all the time. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that guy.
I don't want to read this guy's poems.
You imagine what getting a text is like from this guy? Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no also because again, I have listened to My Chemical Romance and I like them quite a bit. And I don't want to be ruined by anybody else. I want my relationship to stay the same that I've had. Mm-hmm. So fuck this place.
Yeah, fuck this place.
I wash my hands of thee. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Wanted to remind you that you can text the podcast anytime you want.
Night or day, whenever the hell you want.
It's fine. It's the number is 470-BAD-JOBS. The actual numbers are 470-223-5000. 5627. That's the number.
So yeah, anytime you want. Like I said, middle of the night, whenever. We don't got jobs right now. Whatever's going on with you is going on with us.
I mean, absolutely. Maybe you still have a job and it's like shitty. You can tell us about that. Maybe you don't have a job and it was shitty before.
Maybe you're getting one of those weird temperature forehead checks right now.
For sure.
You want to pull out your phone and just say, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to text 470 bad jobs.
470-223-5627 is the number. That is the number. And you can also call us if you want, but I mean, whatever. It's your choice. That's the point here.
Okay, so Celena, what's the first job you ever had?
My very first job, I suppose, more like a chore, really, was when I was 9 or 10 years old. And rewind, my grandfather on my mom's side owns a walnut/cherry farm. So along with all the other migrant Mexican workers, they put us grandkids to work so we can learn the value of work or whatever. Gleaning walnuts. There's a certain type of walnut called mayette, and they can't go through the hydrate or the whole processing business. So you have to pick them up by hand, wash them by hand, and then package them after they've dried in burlap sacks. So we did that, and we got paid, I don't know, something like $100 each for a couple weeks of work or some shit like that.
Oh, man.
And yeah, so it was definitely a character building thing. I will give my family credit for that.
So you feel like your character was in fact built.
Yeah. But then here's the thing, like we really, really, really wanted to work on the conveyor belt where all like the female Hispanic employees are sorting walnuts all day, like just throwing out the rotten ones, throwing out the hulls, the green outer part. And we thought that was so cool. So they let us do that for like an hour one day, kind of after hours, and to just give us the experience, right? But this is fucking grueling ass labor that people do on a daily basis for minimum wage or less or whatever. Granted, my family's farm, they pay fairly, right? They're not gonna pay you like $2 an hour for anything,
Right.
Nothing unethical like that.
Payment.
Yeah. Hey, it's nourishment. Good for the brain.
A lot of good healthy fats in there.
Totally.
So you get up there and what happens?
It's just backbreaking labor. You just really learn.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say you're like, yeah, it was gonna be so fun. We went up there and bam, kid falls in the machine. It's all over.
No. But while I was a kid, one chick, put her hand in the machine and it like cracked her just all her phalanges. And so God. She had to get emergency care, and my mom's there trying to translate because she speaks better Spanish than my dad, interestingly enough, because he's Mexican and she's like, what?
I love the lilt on the end there.
She's trying to communicate, and both of my parents are also trained as nurses, right? They met in nursing school. So she's trying to communicate in Spanish and figure out this whole situation. Turns out she's like an illegal migrant, unfortunately, and I don't even know how the story ends, but like she didn't want to go to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah. So this was back in the 90s, right? Like late 90s, and yeah, this is just an ongoing thing. So I hope she's all right. I hope her hand is functional these days.
Do you no, I was gonna say do you think I want to know what happened. Sorry. I just want to know what happened.
Right? I should ask.
Yeah.
I didn't bother asking because I was so young.
Know why she put her hand in the machine? Like, was there a reason? Or was it
I think she was just no. I think she was just not adequately. She wasn't adequately trained.
Got it.
And I feel like she just put her hand in the wrong place.
This happens. You just get your
sorting stuff.
You get your stuff.
Farm machinery is fucking tricky.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, oh, I want that walnut.
Is that a jelly bean?
Hold up, I need a snack real quick.
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah.
That's brutal. How long did you do that for?
Only I went to John Muir Elementary, so we had year-round school, so we had like 2 months off in September, October, and 2 months off in March and April or something like that. And so we went to school through the summer, but September, October is harvest season for walnuts, so we would just go there early in the morning on our vacation days. And then we'd work probably until noon, have lunch with our family, and then go out and play on like the swing on the tree, or like explore, climb trees and shit, you know. Yeah.
Nice.
Because walnuts grow on trees, right?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, good, Chase. I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked, Chase, because I did not know.
I was
They grow on a vine like grapes, and you pick them off thusly. Just kidding. No, definitely full ass grown trees. And then what they do is they take a tractor that's called a shaker, and it's basically got kind of like pincher bug like tongs. It grips the trunk of the tree and it shakes the shit out of it so that the walnuts drop. And then another tractor comes by, sweeps up all the walnuts, and then they dump the walnuts into the hydrating processor. They sort them, they wash them, dry them, etc.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And when do you come in on that flow? And in your
You driving the tractor?
No, I've never driven a tractor. I don't think they want me to because I can't drive stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just the Mayette trees. There were only a few of them left from previous generations, and they were in one area of the farm.
Got it.
There. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my first job as a little baby kid.
So you did that for 1-2 months, but did you have to do it like the next year? Do you have to do it for a couple of years, or was it just
probably from when I was 9 or 10 to the age of 12 or 13, something like that. And after that, I was in high school, so I wasn't out of school during the fall.
Right. So just out of curiosity, because more than one people have done hard work and have said, I've learned the meaning of hard work from that hard work. But what specifically do you feel like you took away from it? Just for you, I mean.
I think our parents wanted to basically instill in us that we should go to college and not be a farm worker. Although my uncle, pretty much. Because my parents really pushed that whole college thing. Go to college. Yeah. But my uncle and my cousin, they run the farm. So it's still a family business, and it's still a legit living, So
Yeah. I was gonna say, because I've also heard of situations. I have friends that are this way. That's like they get put into these like very labor intensive scenarios as kids to build character, to show them why they need to go to school, but then they end up just making friends with dope people who happen to work there, and they're just like, oh, this is cool too. And so
I mean, it seems like you kind of took the thing that they wanted you to get out of it, which is like, we really would like for you to go to college, and so that you don't have to do this specifically. And you're like, well, if this is the only option, then I guess I will go to college. You know what I mean? You don't know that like you could just not go to college and do something else.
Right.
But they're like, if you don't go to college, you do this.
Were you guys eating all the walnuts too, like as you were going, or was it?
Sometimes,
Did you get sick of them? Or?
I didn't like walnuts as a kid.
They taste like dirt a little bit.
A little bit, but now I'll eat them now, covered in sugar and cinnamon and candy and whatnot. Just kidding. Yeah. No, actually, I recently got a little thing of walnut butter. That's like non-GMO.
Yeah, but just some pretty good,
etc. Sustainable.
Very, oily, I feel like. So I feel like it would be really good, like viscous butter.
You really need to put it with something sweet, like honey or bananas or jelly. It is pretty earthy.
Walnuts taste like dirt. I mean, I like them, but they taste like dirt.
Do you remember offhand like what kind of hours they were working back then versus the hours you were working as like grandkid?
It was probably like early morning to mid-afternoon type hours. Probably 6 a.m. to 3 or 4 in the afternoon with a break for lunch. The way that your family responded to that woman crushing her hand or whatever,
makes me feel like accidents did not happen that often. Like, cause they were like so cool about handling it that it wasn't just like, well, I guess just sort out where your fingers are amongst the walnuts. Like it was like they're very so. But is that the only crazy thing you remember from that?
Yeah, that's the only crazy thing, and it was an unprecedented event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the time operations run smoothly, and actually people come back. There's this one guy who's like 70 or 80 years old, and he was a teacher, or he still is a teacher in Mexico, and he still comes back yearly, seasonally to work, because teachers, of course, in Mexico don't the wages don't cut it. So
there's shit in America.
So, but yeah, they're same. Yeah, same here. But yeah. So I mean, there were people who came back because as loyal
walnut game
supporters of the operation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna say, because I wouldn't imagine. But like the other side of that though, then is that story lives on forever. About the one time that the lady got her hand stuck in like you just told it now. It's just like,
especially now that it's going to be on the internet.
And she's just got full on like robot hand now, and she's like, I don't even care anymore, guys. It's better. I like this like, better than my old hand. Stop bringing it up.
Bionic parts, like
Stop talking about it on podcasts.
What did you transition after that in high school? Did you find another job, or was it like, did you jump to another job, or was it kind of like you waited a little bit?
Funny story. My parents did not let me get a job in high school or in junior college.
Curious.
Yeah.
They're letting you work the walnut mines.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The walnut mines underground, like trolls.
So they were like focused on school.
Exactly. They were like, Mija, no, you don't need to get a job. Like, you're living with us, you rent free, like for from age 18 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, no, don't just focus on studies or do extracurricular opportunities. Or so I joined the swim team or whatever,
Hell yeah.
I guess that gave me some opportunities or whatever.
Yeah.
Next Michael Phelps. But really I did learn like a proper swimming stroke, so I added that to my skill set.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
so
better
they
than
just
a job for sure. It's way more fun than a job.
But honestly, that ultimately did me a disservice because I did not know how to carry myself or how to defend myself as an employee. So I mean, there's a whole story behind that, but
it's a good point.
they didn't let me get a job when it was safe to get a job. A senior year of high school, when I'm only taking 4 classes and I don't have shit else to do.
Right.
So
right, much like our conversation earlier, which again I don't know how I'm going to edit that into a reliable intro, but where Nick was like, some part of school is just learning to like do shit you don't want to do, and like part of like some of those first jobs where the stakes are super low is kind of learning like shit you want to do, like people you don't want to fuck with, like just the whole spectrum of bullshit.
Yeah, I was totally naive. I didn't know who I should and should not fuck with.
Yeah,
should or shouldn't have fucked with. Yeah.
Right. Or just like even just like how to get a shift covered, like some of that basic or like is it okay or not? Like the answer is
communication.
Sure. Yeah, I remember my my first job, I missed my entire like second week of work because I didn't know to check a schedule. Like I didn't understand that that's what you did. And it's just like, I'm like half expecting it to like they mail it to me like a report card or whatever.
Right.
So it's like,
how old are you?
I was 17.
Oh, that's understandable. See, that's why it's safe to learn that shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. So then that was your first job, and then you were MIA from the job game after you got out of the walnut game, and so
in retirement.
Yeah, in retirement from the walnut game. So that was your first job. What would you say, Celena, is the worst job you've ever had?
The worst motherfucking job that I've ever had was as a kitchen cabinet refacing salesperson at Home Depot. but we weren't actually employees of Home Depot, and we did not get paid minimum wage on an hourly basis. We just got paid commission based on leads. So what you do is you go with your coworker to a various Home Depots across the greater Sacramento area. And then and the Home Depot employees are like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, who are you? And then you just walk around talking to customers and offering them an opportunity to get their kitchen cabinets refaced. And so so you have to basically convince them to give you their name, address, and you have to call an operator, sometimes on the Home Depot landline, in order to set up an appointment for a kitchen cabinet refacing appraisal.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Yeah, this is what?
This is
Isn't
so
it
intricate.
shiesty as fuck? Shiesty as fuck.
It's like there's a 35-step like program to get you a paycheck.
So
Yeah.
hold on. So okay.
Yeah.
First of all, what exactly is cabinet refacing?
What
Like,
exactly is a Home Depot?
You get new cabinet doors? Like,
Yeah, pretty much. Or you can get a whole new cabinet or laminate on top of your existing cabinet, or whatever.
Okay, got it. So
what,
you're
they didn't actually train us on that, so that was
Right.
what I was guessing.
they're putting you in the sales pipeline so that somebody can fuck with their cabinets in one way or another.
Pretty much, and that's called a lead.
Indeed, it is.
When that call goes through successfully, you get paid. I don't even know how much it was per lead, but if you get 1 or 2 or 3 leads per week, a 40-hour work week, 8 hours Monday through Friday, you might get paid $150?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Mm-hmm. I was desperate for cash at the time just because I had a falling out with my family, which for very unfunny reasons. But
Indeed.
Not
Anyway,
hilarious, you say? Not hilarious.
So yeah, I was just like, okay, that's it. I'm on my own. And then I moved in with my boyfriend at the time. And then it was just like, okay, shit, I've got to get a job. And I looked on Craigslist, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
So I found this.
Yeah, we know that game.
So I found, I don't even remember the name of the company, but it was some independent contracting bullshit in some shady ass office building complex that you went into and you talked to, and my boss was, her name was Brandi Lynn. Let it be known
Brandi,
that
fuck Brandi.
all Brandi Lynns are,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
be wary of any Brandi Lynn you come across.
Yeah, we're not having them on this show.
She was like a trailer park success or whatever. She was always bragging about how like she worked her way up from the bottom and she has 2 kids and blah blah blah. And she, you know,
She's just super psyched. She doesn't have
Yeah.
to walk into Home Depots anymore.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
pretty much.
She
Actually,
just
she
keeps.
did.
She
She
keeps citing her kids as the awful things she's overcome.
No, but like she occasionally did go to Home Depots, but not on the regular. She only came once to train me, to try to make me become this shiesty salesperson. But I was such shit at sales
Of
and
course.
not good at communication or persuasive
Well, really
rhetoric or
forcing
whatever.
people into a situation they shouldn't be involved in.
Mhm,
Pretty
mhm.
much, yeah. Yeah.
Taking advantage of
including-
people's insecurities about their cabinets.
That too, but also she there were like half my coworkers were ex-convicts, and like God bless them, like they were all like nice people, just basically trying to reform their lives, and it was like this was the only job they could get as well. And some were more successful. Another guy waited over 3 weeks to get his first paycheck. I don't even know if he actually got a paycheck. He eventually got fired and he relapsed on heroin and bad things. And so I don't know what kind of string she was pulling, but Brandi Lynn's a motherfucking
So
shiesty ass liar.
Okay,
At the top of the cabinet pyramid.
Walk me through what happens sort of on a I understand the broad scope of things, but you go into Home Depot. Is it just you alone, or are you with somebody else? I mean, like a small
you're
team?
with your coworker. Your coworker, but you often split up and just conquer different parts of the Home Depot for 8 hours.
Do you drive to this Home Depot on your own in your own car or something?
Yes. I actually drove. And
do you meet up at the office in the morning with the coworker?
Exactly.
Or something? Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You meet up at the office. You do a brief, kind of warm up, working on your spiel with your coworkers, and then you get
cocaine.
assigned.
Yeah. Little nose candy, get you ready for the big sales day, my guy.
Dude, all the white people were on OxyContin, and that was 2010.
Yeah.
2010 is a great time to get into that.
Gnarly.
They would show up with their eyes glazed, and it would be like, "Oh yeah, training." And it was like, our lives are shit.
Are fucked up. Yeah. Okay, so walk me through. So you just go up to I'm at Home Depot. I'm trying to pick up a potted plant's too heavy for me, whatever. I'm dealing with I'm doing me. Nick's doing Nick over here, right? So you walk up to me and you're like, this
just
guy
looking at nails, trying to figure out what the fuck? Why are there so many different kinds of nails?
What do I need?
He looks like he owns a house.
Yeah.
He looks like he might be interested. Yeah.
So then you come up to me. What do you say?
I don't even remember the spiel because it was 10 years ago, but it was just like, hey, would you be interested in getting your kitchen cabinets refaced, or have you thought about home renovation or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then, I can schedule an appointment for you actually. And you would get shut down so quick, many times, and be no, we already got our kitchen cabinets refaced. So I'm like, you're bullshitting me right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of no, not right now, because people are there busy trying to fix whatever.
For a very specific, if you're at Home Depot, you're there for a very specific reason.
Yeah, not like people hanging out at Home Depot.
It's not like Target.
No. Now, again, I agree that, with this company that you're probably going to get more leads at Home Depot because they're just people who are willing to do stuff. They, stuff to change to their place. But again, I have never been to a Home Depot and not been a little fucking pissed off if I was there.
Yeah.
Because the reason I'm there is either because I'm starting something that I don't really want to be doing, or that, so I don't really know a lot about it, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. Or worse, I'm back at the Home Depot because things have gone so far south that I need new things from this Home Depot.
I 100% agree with you, Chase. I feel you
this is the worst customers for you to be approaching.
Yeah. Every time I've been at Home Depot, I'm feverishly buying a mop or something where I'm just something has happened to me in my apartment that I need to handle right now. So.
Yeah. And then someone walks up to you and is like, cabinets, and you're like, you just come out of the mist? What's going on?
Yeah. It's these drill guns in my hands. No time for cabinets.
I need to mop up the septic shit that spilled onto my bathroom.
So you're telling me that how long did you do this for?
5 or 6 weeks.
Okay.
I looked on Craigslist again for another job.
Anything
else to escape this mess. But here's the thing, during those rough weeks, Brandi Lynn took me into her office for a one-on-one meeting, and she was like,
gross.
She led me to believe that I was costing her business money.
Oh, shut up. Get out of here with that.
I know. Nowadays, I'm like, I wasn't even getting paid minimum wage. How the fuck was I ever costing you anything? I filled out an I-9 and a W-2, and you don't pay me unless I get leads. So how the fuck am I costing you money? That's some fucking bullshit. Anyway, but I did not have the wherewithal to speak up or say that or even think that through, because I was just so panicked because I needed the money. I didn't know how business is, how payroll works. Anyway, so
I think go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah. So I doubled down. I tried extra hard. I put on like more makeup to make myself look a little older. I tried to dress more professionally with what professional clothes I had, and
hell yeah, yeah.
I started hiding in the cabinets. I was like, whatever I had to do.
It's like, have you thought about
straight out of them? And I was like, "Hey, do you need some kitchen cabinetry facing?"
Just like came as like a box, like you're like a big box you made fashion look like a cabinet around you, and you walk in. It's like, "Hi, I'm Celena."
Like
I'm
a mascot costume.
Yeah.
I just like the idea that this person wanting to dress more professionally, like a person in a business suit knows more about fucking cabinets. Like that's not even the right direction to go.
Yeah,
you
that's
need
just
to find the dude with the paint stained pants. And
correct.
The white t-shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like that. That's just simple. That's like bully bullshit that like shitty people and managers do. Like this idea that you've been costing me money. That's like they have a menu at a restaurant that they're hiding behind, and they're telling you what's on the menu. It's just like, actually, can I fucking take a look at that? Can you prove for a fucking second that I'm causing you any fucking problems at all? No? Okay. Yeah. Just like that. That's I hate that. I feel like I've been there myself. I'm sure we all have, but that's such bullshit. And yeah, they take advantage of you because they know they're like, yo, you're like 10. You don't get that. I'm not allowed to be mean to you.
You don't get that this job sucks absolute ass. Like this is one of the worst jobs you can get. You actually didn't even get it. Like if you're 1099, you're not actually hired. You're not even fired.
Yeah, really.
You're always spending money on suits. just so you keep. Did you? Okay, so you said you collected no paychecks, or I know that your coworker didn't.
Small paychecks, 150, 200, 250 was a good week.
Oh, okay.
That is straight garbage.
Oh man, that is ass,
my
guy.
You can barely make rent with that shit. And buy groceries.
I mean, like again, I don't know what we can talk about what you went to after this, but like you could probably have more reliable income at a Subway.
Yeah, 100%.
Just with minimum wage alone. I mean, with a decent minimum wage, really. But
yes.
Yeah.
And far less cocaine. Far less cocaine.
Less Oxycontin.
And Oxycontin.
Far less Oxycontin. I'm not going to say zero, but less.
Yeah, for sure.
Less.
There might have been cocaine involved. Like Brandi Lynn looked like a decrepit Christina Applegate. I mean, like, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? With like too much Cookie Lee jewelry draped across her chest.
Did she have a lot of rings?
I don't remember rings, but lots of earrings and necklaces.
She never wore rings because she was always about to punch somebody.
I would have thought one of those long claw ones. Just something weird. Something ominous, very villainous, you know?
Yeah, like a weird claw ring.
So, like, her sinister nature was actually proven to me when I later ran into her secretary, Cassandra, at a grocery store. And she was like, yeah, I quit because of all the lies Brandi Lynn was telling people.
Yeah, no shit.
And it's like, well, fuck.
About cabinets or about everything?
About everything.
Oh, okay.
Everything. The nature of your employment, how you can succeed and move up the ladder, blah, blah, blah. All of that bullshit.
And then like, and Cassandra just one day was like, you know what, Brandi Lynn, you're lying. These cabinets are empty. Just like you, Brandi Lynn. Empty. She opened up a couple cabinets to like for visual, like really drive it home on Brandi Lynn.
So okay, just want I want to drill down a little bit on the how tos here. So you would arrive at a Home Depot. How long are you at any one Home Depot?
About 7 hours.
Oh, so you're literally the exact same Home Depot. You just pick one Home Depot per day to be at, and you're just wandering this store. Trying to get people to buy shit. I would imagine that Home Depot as a company would not be so down with this.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes people would they would ask for a number to call, or who's our supervisor, or I didn't even know if we were supposed to be in the place roaming.
You definitely weren't.
Like rats. Like accosting customers with our kitchen cabinet refacing offer.
Yeah,
I'm just curious about kitchen cabinet refacing offer. I'm just curious how long you survived. Again, you work at if you're an actual employee at a Home Depot, which again, yeah, it's at a certain point you're like, why don't I just work with you? But your shifts are at least 6 hours, 5 hours. Don't you notice these other people in the store? And just like, I would guess if I were there, I'd be like, nah, fuck gives a fucking shit. Like, they never make any sales anyway. They just wander the paint aisle. I mean, again, I guess they just, you entered into like a, by hour 2, like a pseudo truce with the other stores, just sort of like
pretty much, a laissez-faire kind of thing. Like, it's like, okay, they're here now. There were a few different locations that we would rotate, and we would
but again, you're there for 8
intermittently.
Hours, you're there for 7 hours in one day. Again, if I'm a peon at Home Depot, I'm gonna think, look, this is for sure not my problem, but like I might tell my supervisor just because I'd like to see some drama,
Yeah.
Like, I think these fucking assholes don't belong here. I think you're trying to do something with people. Can you go? You're paid to deal with them. Why don't you go? You know what I mean? So you didn't deal with that level of resistance that often?
No, actually, most regular Home Depot employees were pretty chill and even friendly.
Sure.
Some made conversation. And but if you're chilling alone in a pretty sparsely populated Home Depot in the lumber section, then nobody's gonna bother you. So they kind of shrug their shoulders eventually.
So it wasn't like when you walk in, like, oh, there's those sick cabinet fucks again. They're back. Like,
pretty much, they look at us.
Like, oh shit, Celena and the cabinet crew.
Did you have the same coworker the entire 5 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever?
No, it would. We would rotate.
Zero teamwork. Got it. You're really
switch it up
on your own.
Pretty much. No, but like one dude was actually really a great team player. He was actually next con. His name's Ben, and he was a friendly.
Shout out to Ben.
What up, dude? Thank you for saving my ass. So I was broke as a joke, right? And I was supposed to drive to this Home Depot location. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't have any gas and I don't know how we're going to get there. And he was like, oh, no big deal. Just pull into this gas station. And I was like, why? So he gets out of the car and he's like, come on. And so we're both standing outside of a mini mart and in, pretty semi-professional clothes. And he just starts saying, like, just hustling, like asking people, hey, could you spare some change? We just need to get to work right now. And people, respected us for looking the part. And we got $5 or $7 into the tank, and there we go. I was like, oh my God, thank you, Ben. So that's how I learned my street hustle skills. And like the following weeks where I was waiting for a paycheck, I was like, I did the same thing. I just went to gas stations and I was like, hey, could you spare some change? I'm just trying to get to work, blah, blah, blah. So I picked up on that shit real quick. So
you're like, and then I started doing it even when I had money. I just started asking people for money, and then I started dressing differently. I started dressing a little down. Started going out on the street. And I have a 6-bedroom home. So Ben was your one friend, and he was quick to panhandle real quick, get you guys.
Yeah.
That was your one compa, so to speak. Your one guy.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, I mean, most of the other people were friendly, and we worked well amicably. But honestly, you were basically on your own, and whatever leads you got went to you. So there wasn't teamwork in that respect.
And then again, I just you said earlier that sometimes you'd have to use a landline to call because your phone wasn't working or something. Is that?
Yeah, or you couldn't get a hold of them, or and so sometimes you would pick up a Home Depot phone where they make appointments for, I don't know, door frames and shit.
You just literally just like, there it is, and you pick it up. Tight.
Basically, I feel like you were supposed to act like you were a Home Depot employee. Like, oh, let me just and dial the number with my pinky. Like, no problem. I got you. I'll make this appointment for you.
Tight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I got the fuck out of that job after a few weeks because I couldn't fucking stand it. I found a job with on Craigslist with grassroots campaigns, which is
just slightly less hustling.
Pretty much, yeah. So grassroots campaigns, at the time they were canvassing on behalf of Amnesty International, which was I was all about the human rights campaign, right?
Sure.
But at least I got paid minimum wage for that shit, plus a little bit of commission if I raised enough money. But
That's
you
a
did have to
very
meet quota.
important point, that if you're going to sign up for an awful fucking sales job, you might as well make a minimum hourly, right? So that if you are awful at it, you still get some money. And some money to buy yourself some time, literally, to figure out your next move.
Really? Yeah, for sure. But you still had to make quota, $130 per day or $130 on average. And that could be from, so what we did was we went out to grocery store fronts at the around the greater Sacramento area and Davis. And you and then you stand in front of the grocery store entrance, and they may or may not like you being there.
Yes.
There were some troubles in terms of calling your supervisor, blah, blah, blah. But you stand there and you say, hey, take a minute to help stop violence against women, all chipper like. And you flag people down and you try to get them to make either one-time donations or monthly donations. And if you get, say, a $10 monthly donation, that counts for 7 months into the future. So that's $70 toward your daily quota. Yeah, so if you don't make quota for a week, you get put on probation. If you don't make quota the next week, you're let go. And so there's such a high turnover rate, it's ridiculous. So I was hustling like crazy, but at least there was more motivation to do so, and I was better at this.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's like a structure that's not just like, convince people they need new cabinets. It's like something a little more.
Well, and also a bigger market of people. Like, again, like you go into and out of a grocery store, like everyone who's there has money to give to a thing if they wanted to. They
at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying everybody, but like at least 90%. Like, what's the percentage of people who are even qualified to want and afford cabinets inside any given Home Depot?
Right.
10,
But then
20%?
if you, not.
And then how many of those people do you actually find and talk to? Right, another 10%, another 5% of those people.
Exactly. And how many people actually go to that particular Home Depot location?
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. And what percentage of those people can tell you're on OxyContin, right? even less.
That's the truth.
Really?
And I would also say that as a, if you were to be cast in a role of a salesperson, you sell a lot easier visually as a person who's concerned about human rights than a person who's like, let's talk cabinets.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Right,
Yeah,
so that's another reason
just
that
like,
it's technically
a young
easier
little
sell.
ditz, like trying to sell them some
I'm just trying to make the world a better
hardware
place, my dude.
lumber. For sure. Yeah, I did have a lot more success as a canvasser for sure. And that was kind of my introduction into like politics and activism. And I still look back on that as a very formative experience. But I did quit after about 5.5 months because it's not sustainable.
It's awful.
Yeah, and then I went back to working nonprofit theater. Hey! And then I went back to school because I had dropped out for about a semester or so. Yeah. Anyway,
a wild ride. Okay,
yeah. Oh, the way it ended with Brandi Lynn, real quick. Sorry, I
was about to double back on that.
Oh, really? Okay, good. So I was like, okay, well, basically overnight, I scored an interview with Grassroots Campaigns, and they were like, "You're hired," because there's such a high turnover rate. So I went to Brandi Lynn, and I was like, "Hey, sorry, I found another job," and she was like really understanding, kind of fake like, "Oh, okay,
Sure.
like."
She was gonna shoot you in the back as soon as you turned around.
Yeah. Stuff you into the cabinets.
Oh yeah, pretty much like a little puppet, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you
I
told
feel like
her.
she was happy to let me go, probably because I was probably one of her, less enterprising salespeople. But the week previous, I had gotten more leads because I tried to step it up. So she probably owed me a check that was like $400+ or something like that for that week. But since she had led me to believe that I was costing the company money, I was like, oh, I'm leaving, but my last paycheck, should I take that, or like, should I just give it back to the company?
Oh my God.
I know. And so she was like, oh, it's up to you. And I took that
Ugh.
as you shouldn't take it. So this bitch.
Oh man, my skin is crawling right now.
Yeah. So
Oh my
Brandi Lynn,
fucking
ultimate
God.
hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not get my paycheck. I did not claim it for myself. And I struggled for another 6 weeks without motherfucking gas. And yeah. So, and then I had like a
yourself.
scar.
I feel like we might as well just say everyone is legally required to get their money at the end of their job, right?
Yes.
I think we could say that.
Oh
Indeed.
my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
was
hate
totally
Brandi Lynn.
taken advantage of. Yeah, I was just naive as fuck. So I, you know. Yeah, so there was like a Scarlett O'Hara moment, like, with God as my witness, I will never be taken advantage of again. And I hustled the fuck out of everything. I even like acquired an additional part-time job on top of the canvassing, 8-hour, 40-hour work week, minimum wage pay. I worked at N Street Cafe in Midtown, and two mornings a week from like 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I was just like saving up that money, hoarding up that money to like pay for tuition the next semester and stuff like that. So.
Damn. Well, Celena, there's before we close the pod, we always have 3 questions we asked, and we've half answered the first one. The first question is, when were you done and how did you quit? We know how you quit, by not taking $400. You were done when did you realize I've got to get another job? Like I mean, was it minute 1? Was it week 2? When were you just like, I've got to find something else other than this weirdo cabinet like grift?
Probably 3 or 4 weeks in, because the first couple of weeks I was focused on trying to learn the job and trying to succeed at the job and thinking I could actually do it because of what they told you.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
so
not
weird
so much.
It's so weird, like just hearing Chase ask you that. Just like, when did you decide to leave the job that no one had ever heard of until you had?
Day 1.
Yeah. Yeah, so you try to give yourself a fair shake, and then you're like, no fair shakes, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no.
And then again, you found the other job on Craigslist, the canvassing. Yeah. Question number 2 is, and I think we kind of know one of the answers to this, but feel free. What's one good thing you took from that very bad job?
Bitch better have my money.
Fair.
Give me what you owe me. I tried to find her, actually. Just for this podcast, I tried to research Brandi Lynn, but I couldn't find her. But
That's not a real name, first of all.
I would have tried to troll the fuck out of her and be like, you better pay me that $400 plus inflation.
Yeah, she spent it on Oxy the minute you left.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, she had actually already spent it and was just relieved that she now had $400 extra for sure. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And also, I would say that you got the canvassing job out of that, and it was a far better situation. I mean, basically, it was like, some people would be like, "Oh, canvassing is the worst," and you're like, "Actually, I know it is the worst." So this is fine. Like you turn the water heat down, and you're like, "God, it's not as bad."
Nowadays, they have tablets. I saw them on a Sac State campus. They have fucking tablets to sign people up. Back in the days, we had a carbon copy and a crayon to like with their credit card under the paper. It was like,
man, they really
like
hated
like
we
a
take your
Crayola.
information. Yeah.
Like you had like a big, like a shunk, like a gigantic, like, oh my God.
But you did it with just a Crayola, man. That's wild.
Giant ass crayon, like.
That's great. Okay, well then, question number 3 is not about that non-existent, very strange, like sort of ghost person job. So since the pandemic, everything's been kind of thrown up in the air, and you have been doing theater for quite some time, I imagine. Like, the world's been on pause, basically. Like, what happens if it doesn't really get unpaused in a way that's like satisfying to you? Like, what have you been thinking about as far as like what you want to be doing?
As far as English teaching to adult immigrants, probably, I don't know, I've substitute taught at different adult schools and community education
And that's how you kind of got
facilities.
into this idea of like, this is what I think I could probably do this, because you kind of demoed it in substitute teaching, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I had already started training as a ESOL or teaching English just because of other languages instructor beforehand. But then I was like, oh yes, definitely adults are my student population because I just don't have patience for children.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would probably just try to get hired on as a remote learning instructor.
Right.
It's what we do these days now. So yeah, or I have applied and have gotten jobs with Taiwanese and Chinese companies, like iTutor, etc.
Right.
I think there's VipKid or whatever, and you can teach kids online, which is fine and all, but if you have another job and you're trying to teach at like 11:30 p.m.
Yeah, weird hours.
The hours for Pacific time are kind of messed up. So yeah, it works better if you're on the East Coast, I think.
So, and you had started that before the coronavirus. You were kind of already eyeing that as like, this is, I think this works for me.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. How long? I mean, if someone was actually interested in doing this, because I feel like that's kind of this part of the thing. It's like, what if somebody actually wanted to try that? What would they like to get into adult ESL? Like that's what, like a 2-year thing, or like what's how long does that take to like go through those courses?
It depends. You can have a bachelor's degree and then go on to get your teaching credential, and you can get a certificate in TESOL and teach K through 12 ESL. And that's a lot of, bilingual speakers in the public school, public education system. The route that I'm going for teaching at junior college level or adult school, it's a grad program.
Okay.
It's the MA TESOL program at Sac State. There are others online that you can access.
Right.
And so the MA TESOL people generally either go abroad to teach, or they teach junior college or adult school.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great. That's a very satisfying answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
And where can people find you on the internet if you'd like to be found?
Instagram, I guess, at Grava _TASS, Gravitas.
And we'll put that in the show notes too.
All right, cool.
Thank you so much, Celena.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure, and fuck this place.
Fuck this motherfucking place, Brandi Lynn.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Hey, what if you left a review somewhere? Put it on a piece of paper, throw it into the wind, or possibly on the internet. If you like the show, rate it 5 stars. If you don't like the show, you can text us 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. Just tell us how much you fucking hate it, Just really lay it on us. And we'll get back to you eventually. Bye for now. Fuck this